Good morning. Welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout, coming to you live via maybe the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is sometimes frozen, sometimes not, Jeff.
Ta-da! My new
Ta-da.
my new webcam could probably be too much for my system. So, and the Wilhelm scream at the end of the intro is actually a great description of the Wednesday night show.
I heard. So, good morning, Joe, Adam, and Don. It sounds like I missed out on quite the
Yeah,
chaos of Jeff's life on the Wednesday night show.
everything that could go wrong went wrong. Not with the show. Technically, everything was going good. It's always difficult to solo a show like that. Um,
Sure.
but I had a building in the complex was on fire. Then they migrated to my place. There was noise everywhere, and it wasn't so much it was loud and clattery, but it was I could tell it was going on, and so I was massively distracted. So
Well, and then when you have that distraction, even though people may not hear it on the screen, like on their computers or however they're watching us, there's something going on, and you're like, I can't be here right now.
yeah, because and plus, like I said, my stomach was upset, and when it didn't feel good, my stomach just kept letting me know it didn't feel good, so I kept getting this gurgling sound, which was distracting as hell. And then I hear conversation, and when you have activity of that nature in your apartment, and you know that at some point in the rest of the complex there's a building on fire, you're going, maybe I should go check that out.
Maybe I need to step away from the screen but
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
that's why these are hobby hangouts. They're not like we just do
Yeah,
this
yeah.
for fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes things go swimmingly, sometimes things go awry. Just so everyone knows, Wednesday, I was just enjoying my vacation and just doing stuff. I had no, I didn't, believe it or not, this week, I haven't done any real painting.
I'm sorry, that's not helping, Don, knowing you actually hear my stomach gurgling on the show. That's awesome.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm going to go and delete that show. So.
Yeah. Morning, Raymond. Yeah, so life is just yeah. That's all.
Well, you had a good vacation. You relaxing, and that's great. You took a Wednesday night off.
I took the whole week off. I did like some big projects around the house, but I did them early in my vacation. So
Right.
like Thursday and Friday and Saturday of last week, I got the sprinkler system I worked on. I did like all the big yucky projects, so that way the rest of the week I could just kind of chill and do little things around the house, but nothing major. But I was running around, I was going to shops, and I was going out shopping, and I was doing things and just having fun. That was it. That's all. So I picked up a new hobby, as we talked about earlier. I went down a rabbit hole of YouTube and picked up a whole new hobby of making junk journals, and I'm actually making a junk journal tribute to Lemmy using all this magazine clippings I have from when Lemmy passed away and stuff like that. So just doing stuff. I didn't have enough hobbies.
You going down the rabbit hole and discovering new hobby color me surprised.
Yeah, well, the color must be red because your shirt is red. But I did get some things done. I did work a little bit on projects and did more wood crafting, I guess would be the term, of things that I made. So that was my week. So nothing, and again, chill week. I wake up this morning, check my email, and Department of Motor Vehicles decided today would be the day to send me my renewal notice, when I had the whole week off, where I could have just gone down, because I got to do emissions testing. I could have gone down and done my emissions testing and all that kind of stuff. No, we'll wait till Saturday when he's busy, because today I got to do stuff. I'm doing stuff with the wife.
I think Don's confused when you said Lemmy. I think he's thinking you said Lenny, because he says must be a different Lenny. So he may not know the Lemmy you're talking about.
Lemmy from the lead singer Motorhead is what I'm talking about. Lenny, I could do a tribute book to Lenny. That could be quite the interesting.
It could be.
interesting tribute book. So anyways, that's just new hobby. Again, no, not going to take you, just chilling, just having a good time. And the reason I got down this rabbit hole with junk journals is I was looking for basically how to make books, because I have a lot of PDF copies of books of rule systems and things for the RPGs that I play, and I hate spiral bounding books. I've always hated spiral bounding books.
Okay.
And putting them into 3-ring binders. So I've been learning how to make books out of them, how to make them and turn them into books. And I found a few creative ways of my own to make those PDFs into actual physical books, so they don't take up as much space on my shelf.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's compartmentalizing and shrinking things down so I can put more crap into boxes.
So you've become a professional hoarder.
I have taken hoarding to a whole new level.
That's why you went professional on it.
That's why iPads. That's what an iPad. No, I am anti-technology when it comes to my content. I hate PDF. It bugs me when someone pulls out a PDF copy. We're gonna have an issue today. Houston, we may have a problem.
You forgot to hook up all your camera stuff?
I forgot. It's been a while.
No, you have the same thing I do. When I'm playing a game and someone pulls out their phone or their iPad to reference the world, it makes me crazy.
Oh, good. We are good.
You're upside down.
No, remember my mat had to be flipped upside down.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Got it.
We'll talk about why my mat's upside down.
But yeah, are you talking about when someone uses an iPad for like rules and other things? Yeah.
I just, especially when it's a phone. Now, and the only reason it's frustrating, I'm old, I can't see. Someone pulls out their little Samsung that's covered in Cheeto dust and cracked screen. They're like, here's the rule. No, go buy a book. Go buy the book. I'm not going to read your COVID infested.
No, I agree. I'm the same. Well, you remember that? I don't know if we talked about that back when I played in one of the Infinity games at the shop. And the guy across the table from me was using an iPad for his rules and his list and everything else. And and it literally took him, I had my book. I found the rule we were referencing in my book, in my nice hardback book that was sitting right there. And I showed it to him, but he insisted on finding it on his tablet. And so I ended up every turn, I spent at least 15 minutes waiting for him to find what he was looking for on his tablet.
Yeah.
And I kept going, it's right here. It's right here in the book.
Same book. And again, it's just for me, role-playing games, miniature games, they're my escape. And we all value things differently. And Joe, if you're on the tablet, nothing. That's good. At least it's a tablet, so you can see what you're reading. It's the phone thing that bugs me. But to me, it's my escape. No tech. This is I want to get away from technology because it has encompassed my life. So like at work, that's all we have is technology. Like I can't even get a call to run a call for service without relying on computers.
Right.
And everything's computer this and computer this and cell phone that. And when I play my games, it's no tech.
Yeah.
No tech.
Well, there's an actual documentary that talks about one of the hazards of the way we now store data and knowledge. We do it all digitally. That can have an adverse effect should something happen where we end up losing technology. So,
well, you don't own technology. You don't own digital content. Happens to me, Rocksmith, all the time. They pull songs, like they lose the license agreement with an artist or something, and they have to pull songs off of your playlist, or they alter songs because of the changing society, and artists change their, like, they sang really angry music early on, and then they've mellowed out, and then they want to go back and alter how their previous songs, and it happens. It's just part of life. and they'll pull your content. Like GW could literally pull your digital content because no one reads that license agreement, but they can't pull my book from me. They can't come knock on my door. You need to give me back your codex.
I have a perfect example. I mean, it's still technology related, but I've always had an aversion to streaming, even though I do it like mad, because it's the thing you do now. But last night we lost power and we lost internet, and power came back on, but internet didn't. So I'm sitting here bored, so I just threw a DVD in the player and watched it. And what surprised me, that's actually considered old-fashioned, that I now have to, and I grew up where I was my dad's remote. Jeff changed the channel. That was how it worked. And now people are like, you put a disc in a player? That's archaic.
What's a disc? Well, you know me, I still buy physical CDs, music CDs. Like I have very, very the only digital content I have downloaded is when like I bought the music CD and you get a free download of the music. But I don't buy digital content.
What's new with Mike and Jeff is turning into why old guys hate technology.
It's a balance of embracing technology for like what we're doing here with streaming and separating some of that. I don't think technology has made our life any better. I think it's made our lives miserable. I think it's made a lot of miserable people in society. That's why when I do the thing I enjoy, which is gaming and stuff, I want zero tech.
I read a study ironically, I read a study yesterday that people, it's actually part of the Noom diet plan, because they also teach you about how your body reacts to certain things. And people spend, on average, 10 hours and 15 minutes a day in a seated position staring at a screen of some kind.
Well, it's the joke you and I always make about all we do is press buttons.
Yeah,
it's that same thing. It's that joke. All we do, literally 10 hours a day. That is the new working man's thing, is pressing buttons. We don't build and create stuff like we used to.
Right.
So, anyways, off our tangent about.
I'm gonna go off topic. Did you like Black Widow, Don? I loved it. I watched it yesterday. I thought it was great. So yeah, I Black Widow was awesome. I liked it.
Good question, because I haven't watched Black Widow.
Yeah.
But I've seen the previews. Have a little bit of a crush on Black Widow. Just saying. I
have a serious crush on Scarlett Johansson, but go ahead.
Who is the female character that she's like? I don't know anything about the Black Widow universe.
You have to watch the show. It's all explained in the beginning of the show, but they have a family connection of sorts.
So who's the dude with the beard?
Okay, that's Red Guardian.
Okay, Red Guardian. Okay,
right. If I tell you anything about that, it's going to give away the first 15 minutes of the show.
Never mind then. Never mind. I didn't know if that was another superhero or who.
Red Guardian, absolutely. I think they all are connected in there in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And the actress that they have, that the other girl in it, I believe, is going to be replacing and become the new Black Widow. I don't know that much about it. I don't know that much about the canon from Marvel.
Okay.
Victor, but if I tell you all the stuff you're asking, the first 20 minutes of the movie is basically no one.
But they're not new characters that they've
created? No, they're part of the canon.
Okay.
But you should watch the movie because it's actually kind of all pieced together quite nicely.
I will give it a watch because again, it's Black Widow and I'm okay with that. I'm like, who are these people? Because I don't know enough about. I don't know the nuances of the Marvel universe. I know the big character names.
Well, the other thing I like about what Marvel has done, they have what it's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because it actually is a parallel to the comics.
Okay.
So it has a lot of the same characters, but it doesn't necessarily play out the same way overall. They've actually made that a separate universe from the comics.
Got it. All right. So it's still falling in line of the comic book series. But yes, Raymond, I am not up to date on Loki. I need to sit down and watch that. And also, get caught up on Lego Masters, but we've been really engrossed in Bad Blood.
Well, you just really shut technology off altogether.
No, I've been streaming Black Blood or Bad Blood.
I actually was going to watch that today.
Yeah, we've just been super engrossed in that series. We're almost done with it, so I'll be able to go back, and I don't watch a lot of we only watch television for a couple hours a day. Like evening time stuff. We don't.
I'm currently flabbergasted by Don's comment that the post credit scene in Black Widow ruined the Hawkeye series. So I'm kind of confused how that ruined it. So that spoiled it, I should say.
I'll watch when I find out. Raymond, I've only watched the first 3 episodes, so I think I'm only down a couple episodes. 2, yeah.
Total.
Yeah, it's only the last couple of weeks, but now it's kind of cool because once we finish Bad Blood, I'll be able to stream the last 3 and watch them and not get, because the third one, I think I've already talked about the third one, wasn't that exciting. The third one was very mellow background story type stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting into it because I'm seeing a lot of cool images coming on to different social media platforms and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I got to get caught back up on Loki because he's such a unique character. I mean, the guy himself, the actor himself, is so unique. Just the way he's acting the Loki character out.
Yeah. I finished watching the Sharp series last night. Sharp's Rifle.
Yeah, Sharp Rifles.
Napoleonic Wars, done in the 90s.
Got it.
Yeah, and it was great. Actually, that's why I didn't get to bed until 3:30.
Well, got to do something.
Paul, the other reason I watched it, I got kind of engrossed by it when I first turned it on because they're almost 2 hours apiece, and I let the beginning play, and I noticed that a very, very, very young Paul Bettany was starring in it because that's the nice thing about it because it's done so long ago. I see famous people that weren't famous when this was made. So
that's always good to go back and watch older movies when people weren't famous and see their acting. It's also neat, like Grey's Anatomy, the doctor movie or whatever, because we watched that series as well. It's also neat to watch that movie because they bring in older actors, like retired actors or just older actors, to play like patients and stuff like that. And I always like that. Also, they did that in Law and Order a lot. Like the Law and Order series would always bring in actors, just random actors. Right. And it's just kind of neat. It's just like, oh, hey, here's so and so playing a criminal, or here's
see them out of their normal type of stuff they do. Yeah, no, I like it.
A lot of characters do get caught up in that genre. Like they've got a stereotype, I guess would be the best way to say it, of an acting where they play these certain roles, like action, like Jason Stamos or whatever his name is. You're only going to see him in like an action setting.
Right.
It'd always be kind of cool to just see him in a random.
You want to know something that's really, really fun, and it's if you have a day you can waste. One of the things I used to do with the kids is we would watch a movie in the morning, and then we'd pick not the main character from the movie we just watched, but one of the sub characters.
Yes.
One of the co-stars, and then we'd find a movie that they starred in, that they were the lead,
and then go watch.
And then we'd watch that one and do the same thing again. And it's really kind of funny where we start to where we end up. So
good morning, Robert. Thank you for joining
us. Robert.
I also watched Tomorrow Wars.
Awesome.
Oh, totally awesome movie. Watched the Hitman's Wife Bodyguard to see several acting outside the norm. Oh, sweet. Yeah. I'll have to do that. Yeah, Tomorrow War was just phenomenal.
I loved it. I loved it.
Again, all I saw was a farmer commercial guy. I couldn't get the farmer, his dad. I just could, but he is ripped.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
Yeah, he is ripped.
Yeah, and he's also ancient. He's in his 60s.
And he kicked my ass. But again, awesome just for a Netflix original. The creatures were phenomenal.
And that was actually on Amazon.
Amazon, see, sorry.
Yeah. So you can't keep track of them. There's too many now. Everybody's got soon to be Mike and Jeff Plus. So
there you go. And again, we have Warhammer Plus coming out next month. So
that'll be great.
It's gonna be crazy. All right, so should we do some photos and show some stuff off?
Nah, why bother?
Okay. All right. Well, then let's jump onto our desks and start.
I can do photos.
All right.
I'm all set up for it. I'm
My
ready.
screen got my computer screen that's in front of me got splashed with wash or paint. Now I got these little dots all over it. I gotta clean
All
it.
right.
All right. So this is rockets.
Don, this picture spoiled Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for me. It just ruined it. I'm never going to miss a chance to give Don a hard time. I just can't help myself. I know
his rocket turned out phenomenal. So this
it looks great.
During the painting, because it's not finished yet in this photo, because the finished photo has the Solo Cup being blue.
Well, let's find out. I think I have that in here.
Yes, but I love the tail work.
Yep, no, it's great. It's good stuff.
Good quality stuff. There's the finished photo, I believe, because the Solo Cup is blue now.
Really good work, Don. I know I give you a hard time, but it was really good work.
Trash Panda is actually my nickname for my wife, for me. On her cell phone, when I call her, it says Trash Panda.
It's awesome.
Because, it came from
Star-Lord. Star-Lord called what actually was Trash Panda.
So, yeah. Anyways, that's my nickname. Love it. Love the tail. Love the work. Yeah, and this Marvel Crisis Protocol, the shop, now that we're playing again, and this is the phenomenon we knew was going to happen when we started playing again. Games are re-emerging and getting popular again at the shop, and Marvel Crisis Protocol is on a regular basis. There's a few champions for the game out there, and they're building the community back up. So that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was talking to Darren yesterday. The store's been actually doing really, really well. So that's good to hear.
Good. Yes. So. Awesome. And Joe with his historical stuff. Three Musketeers.
Very, 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 very
dirty, clean kind of a look on that one with that blue because of the highlights.
Yep.
So good stuff. Nice red hair, orange red hair.
Red ginger.
Ginger-esque. Ginger. Oh man, he went nuts though, didn't he? He got a lot of them done.
Yeah.
So again, interesting game. Joe kind of ran me through some of the basic concepts when I was at his house the other day.
Yeah.
He's it's kind of a historical with a little bit of like fantasy-esque-ness to it. So lots of neat stuff. But oh crap.
And
I wasn't expecting a big old creature all of a sudden.
Staring at you.
Yeah. He's yelling at me like,
where are my arms?
Give me my arms, man. Bolt them on. Bolt my arms on. So
Steve was once again doing some great work.
Yes, this is our friend. Oh, there's my truck.
And there's your truck.
Yes, the 120. What's that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a 125 millimeter cannon on a turret on the back of my.
That is of all the Gaslands cars you've built, that's my favorite.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that is the scraps from our Erikenstein build. So that's the Erikenstein cab with it's called Road Mauler from Matchbox. That's the back end and the chassis from that. I just kind of slapped them together. Did you get a new type of greenskins? Yes, I've got a new type of greenskins. I got the Dominion box. But yeah, that truck is, and I posted it on the Gaslands forum, and a lot of people went nuts over it.
It's awesome, dude. It looks fantastic.
I love it. I can't wait to get it on the table.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, of all the stuff, I mean, yeah, and I love everything you've done for Gaslands, but this is my favorite. So.
Oh well, thank you. I'll have to build you one now because you said nice things to me.
And I tried to show these next pics on Wednesday, but my computer was acting up. But this is one of the houses that I just finished for IOG, which will go in the rest of the resin buildings that I've done. And I've got a ton of terrain I'm doing the finishing touches on. So there'll be more of this stuff to come.
What's the company that built? These are all resin. I know
these are a company out of Germany that I am convinced practices witchcraft, because there are some. These are hard resin, gorgeously detailed buildings, but the way some of these undercuts and some of their detail, because they have, even though we don't use them in the shop, they have full interior that's completely detailed as well on the inside. So it's how they do these things is insane. But they're out of Germany. I can't remember the name of them right now.
Well, these buildings only get pulled out on special occasions.
Yeah, these are high end, high resin buildings. Darren and I have actually had me start gluing them, sealing the layers because they're too easy to fall and get damaged. And they're very brittle resin. So if these guys take a fall, they're going to shatter.
And we don't want them.
They're almost like China as far as how they are. So
yes.
But that is it.
Sweet.
Boom.
Well, so this week I did some crafting projects with dice trays.
Sweet.
And one of the things that happened when I did my dice trays is when I poured the resin in one of my dice trays, I left it on my cutting mat to cure.
Right.
And just so everybody knows, if you ever decide to pour resin and do anything with resin, don't leave it on your cutting mats, because what will end up happening is when the resin kicks, it will actually, I'm switching cameras over, will actually warp your mat. And now I have this warp here in my mat and I can't fix it. So yeah. I need to now go get a new mat so that I can not have a warp in it.
I bought a new mat this week too, but for different reasons.
Well, and I thought it was funny when we were chatting before the show and you were kind of running me through all the changes you made, that you bought a new mat, and I was like, oh, hey.
the old mat had so many, I was trying to do some serious precision cutting, and I had so many like little glue drops and tears, and it was too rough, and so I basically bought a new mat. And then what I normally do when I buy a new mat is I don't throw them away. I flip them over and use them because they're the same material on the backside. They just don't have the graphic.
Right.
So I now have, because like my original mat when I moved here is now on that end of the table, flipped over, so it's just black. And then I put the other one right here to kind of just get that kind of a nice cover on the top of this really nice table that Cecil built for me.
Yes. So, well, again, they aren't meant to last forever. These are things that, we it's a consumable good, you're going to destroy it. But I didn't think that resin was going to kick that hot to actually warp my cutting mat. That was crazy. And
well, as I told you this morning, when I was working on the landing platform, I was using my blow dryer so much. I did the same thing with my blow dryer to the mat that I had at IOG.
And I tried to fix it with heat, and it didn't fix. So,
no.
Word to the wise, you guys. Cutting mats don't like heat
at all.
But I gave Will his dice tray yesterday, and he was extremely ecstatic about it. And again, using the artwork from the Dominion box set, I put a hot dip right on my mat, and my mat got all wavy like bacon. Oh, bacon. Bacon. Thanks, Adam. Now I want bacon. But yes, heat, not good for cutting mats.
No.
So stay away. Learn from Adam, Jeff, and myself. Especially we have the large cutting mats, so they ain't cheap.
No, yeah, that's the hardest part about getting a new cutting mat, because when you do a search, because I use 24 by 36.
Right.
And just the sheer number of choices and options and colors are insane.
Yes, and all I want, simple green. Simple green. Anywho, you ready to get busy?
I prefer black cutting mats. Anyway, yeah. I'm good.
I prefer the green simply because I like green.
Well, that's too complicated an answer.
I know. I don't like to be complicated. Are you going to be able to switch cameras?
Already did.
Let me
look at my nice, clean, new cutting mat.
Look at that. Look at me all upside down and stuff.
Whoopee.
I guess I could peel the sticker off so it doesn't look so oddly upside down. Of course, the sticker's all cut up from cutting.
Best place to put my light.
So I did work on some other Gaslands cars. I got a lot to talk about with Gaslands.
Oh, fun.
So I started working on this. I'm working on a Buzzard car.
Right.
Which I think I am getting way too uniformed with my spiky bits that I'm gluing on, but that's okay. It kind of looks cool.
Right.
So I just need to finish up some spikes up here, and then I'm going to put some big old 4-wheel drive tires on it. And yeah, that's going to be it. So not a lot of weapons on this car. I think all it's going to have is an exploding ram. So because it's kind of fitting for a Volkswagen to explode.
Woo-hoo.
And then I also started working on putting the tracks on my speeder.
Right.
So I got the Star Wars speeder and I put tracks on the bottom.
Right.
So what I want to do is I want to make like a hall down here. So I just want to plastic card the center of this out so it looks like it's solid and it's not just tracks sticking out of the back of the vehicle. I want it to look a little bit better.
Right.
Glue it all together, add some guns, and then start painting it. So
sweet.
Yay. So those are a couple of the Gaslands projects I'm working on. What do you got going?
Did a little more work on the Redemptor.
Let me give you full screen, dude, because that dude looks awesome. I got to clean the glue resin off of my thing. Oh yeah, I like that.
So we're getting there a little bit. We're getting there a little slowly but surely. We're getting there. And I couldn't take it when I found out that the shield on one leg was going to be different than the other one.
I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, because the one I have mounted has a gem in it, and I didn't realize there were two different types of that shield. So I gave in to my OCD, and I'm going to be working on that today. So,
I knew it. As soon as you said that they weren't the same, I'm like, he's going to go and paint that other one.
He's going to change that.
He's going to fix that.
Oh, and I did get this. This is actually the first part of the Dreadnought that's actually finished.
Oh, hold on. I took you off full screen. Here you go.
That chest plate.
Sweet.
So that's the first part that's actually done.
It's a slow process, but we will get there. I thought this alcohol would take off this this glue resin, but it seems to be stubborn. It's probably like because it's glue and paint and all kinds of other chemicals that I've used on my mat. So
you want to use some kind of like a nail polish remover. Is it CA glue?
No, it's just the glue from the sticker.
WD-40.
Yeah, I don't have any of that sitting at my desk, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I always use.
But I got most of it off, so I think I'll be okay.
WD-40 was originally created as a solvent.
Yes.
And then they realized it had other purposes.
Lubricant. It's like we can lubricate. So I am still working on my chariot for my Warlords of Erewhon project. Jeff, did you get a new camera? Your picture close up is so much cleaner than I remember.
I made a lot of changes. Not to the camera up here, but what I did do with that was I basically did a lot of adjustments to the settings. So, but I do have one thing real quick. Yep. I bought a new project.
Dun dun dun. Is that the? Oh, that is the new. That's the sisters, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Belladama Volga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some plans for this puppy. No pun intended.
Look at that.
So
that is gorgeous.
I discovered something really neat about the model.
What's that?
This wolf.
Yeah.
Is separate from this base.
Really?
And this rider.
Yeah.
Has nothing molded onto the wolf. So if I actually want to reconstruct that, I can make this a Wolf Rider of Fenris.
Ooh.
Thunder Wolf cavalry guy. And this wolf is about the same size as a Thunder Wolf. So this may end up being a new Thunder Wolf cavalry model for Jeff's army.
That's awesome. We kind of like when that came out, we kind of chatted like, we were hoping, we were optimistic.
Well, I have the other one coming too. I can't think of his name right now. But I'm going to try. I saw some really cool conversions of him on Twitter and Facebook where they converted him to a wolfen.
Really?
Yeah. So let me see if I can. Not this guy. This guy here. I can't think of his name. Radikar the Beast.
Which army is he for?
This guy. This guy right here.
Oh, holy moly!
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool conversions where they convert him to a wolfen.
Really? That's awesome.
Finally, something good for Age of Sigmar models to be used for. 40K. And that was for you, Joe, for your blasphemy comment.
Well, the Dominion box set, I picked it up, and boy, the orc models, the hobgoblins, everything looked phenomenal. So I am not in a big rush to paint the new orcs. Again, I want to finish one project at a time, and right now I'm working on this Warlord of Erewhon project.
Right.
So, but I will eventually get the new orcs painted up one day. Lots of little bitsy parts on them.
Now, I did make some adjustments to my camcorder, which is why this picture is clear, but I also bought a new HD cam for my, the other camera as well. So,
well, because we need to see you clearer.
Not really. I just got tired of being out of focus with the other one. It's making me crazy.
Yes, you are crazy.
Wow, somebody's being all sarcastic with me today.
Just today?
Passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. There you go. So last Saturday I did the Gaslands demos at the shop.
Who cares?
Okay.
How'd they go?
And they went swimmingly.
Yeah, awesome.
Had a bunch of people show up, which made it a little chaotic. I wasn't expecting as many people to show up as that showed up.
You're popular.
Well, I think people just want to start playing again, and they're interested. They're Gaslands curious. So we did plenty of demos of Gaslands, and actually got to hang out with Rex. Rex showed up.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
I bet.
And we're putting together next month's class, and I've already talked to Joe and Darren. Joe and I were chatting earlier this week, and we were talking about the next class, and we're going to do August 28th.
Okay.
Let me double check to make sure that's a Saturday. I believe that's the date.
The OG's on the 21st.
Yes. So August 28th, we're going to do a build and play Gaslands Day.
Right.
So what we're going to do is build a car. Like I'm going to do my presentation, a 2-hour presentation on like products that I use to build cars and techniques on building cars. And then we're going to sit there and build a car. So it'll be a 2-part class basically.
Sweet.
Building cars, and because you're not going to be in town on the 28th, are you?
I'm not sure. I'm out there on the I get there on the 18th.
Right.
19th. And then I'm there for about a week, and then Darren and I are heading to Montana, but I'm not sure when we're headed to Montana.
Got it. So yeah, so that's going to be on August 28th at the shop. We have not posted like prices or anything like that. I don't know. I'm letting Darren handle all that, or Darren and Joe handle all that.
Yep.
I don't need to worry about that type of stuff. So when it gets posted, people will be able to purchase tickets, because obviously it's going to have a limitation of 10 people to the class.
Right.
So because we are going to be using tools that are sharp, and some of the people aren't sharp, because we are Gaslands junkies. So we're going to be playing with Hot Wheels, and we may slip and cut a finger. So.
Well, I had hoped to have the OG stuff sorted out, but I've got some issues I'm trying to address, and I'm waiting to hear back from the guys I talked to about what might work best as far as not point value, but all the different details.
Rule-esque type stuff.
Yeah, just what guys that play a lot more than I do would want to see.
Yeah, I haven't played 9th edition, so I don't even know anything.
Yeah, that's the problem I have right now, is I can read the rules, but I haven't played it.
Right.
So I'm just getting some feedback. And one of them that I get feedback from is in New Zealand. So
that sounds like fun.
Luckily, again, going back to technology, one of the advantages of technology is I can actually have a conversation with a guy back and forth in New Zealand without having to fly there. The difference is I have to travel through time because he's a day ahead. So
Yeah, you're a time traveler. You're a time shifter.
I'm not Doctor Who. I'm Doctor What.
What? What'd you say? What was it? What? Sorry, having fun with words. So anyway, so that's going to go on. So we got the OG coming, and then we're going to have the Gaslands build and play, which I think is going to be fun. I want to try to figure out basically. I want to start getting people just showing up to play Gaslands on their own, where I don't have to be there.
Right.
And I'm hoping this is going to be one of those tickets we can use to get people just to start casually coming in and playing and hooking up and getting games in.
Right.
I have way too much fun playing Gaslands. So I actually played a couple games this week on vacation with a couple different people at different shops.
Right.
And I actually got to go up against a tank, which was quite interesting. I've never played against a tank, and it was devastating, but I still had a good time. You know, what I love about Gaslands is even losing is fun. Like you don't feel bad when you lose at all. Like you still had a good time losing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what makes a game fun. It's not about it's just about the experience. So I need to reach out to I'll do one better. Why is Jeff? Huh? Oh, what is Jeff? I got it. Why is Jeff? Got it. So I need to get with Joe.
It's a Drax quote from Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I need to get with Joe and get the class information to him so he can post it up on the IOG website.
That'll be awesome.
Because
maybe I can talk Darren into not leaving till that following Sunday.
Yeah, you can come sit. You can be the disruptive student in my class.
Oh, well, you know, we all have to have a hobby.
And I'll be like, sir, you need to leave. And you'll like, no. And we'll get into like a fake fight.
Well, that might cause Darren some undue stress.
You knew exactly where I was going. That's awesome. You knew exactly where I was going with that. Just so people know, Jeff and I, when we're together and we're, what would you say, unfiltered?
Unfiltered, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We get a little cruel towards each other. We can, and it's always made Jeff or Darren uncomfortable.
Or we actually, I mean, we actually act like brothers act. We take the piss out of each other constantly. And again, I'm getting foul mouthed today. I've already said 2 bad words.
I don't care.
So, but yeah, we used to get pretty aggressive, and it actually made Darren uncomfortable. But we both grew up with brothers, and that's just how they talk.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
Yeah. I'm the oldest of 3. So.
Yeah, so that's just how it's just how it is. Like your brothers, like thick and thin, no matter what, you're always going to be brothers.
Yep.
So you might get a little bit more, like if Jeff does something stupid, I just tell him he did something stupid. There's no softness to it.
But we do it in a creative, humorous way.
I still never nut checked you though. I just want to make sure we're clear.
That Adam never made that mistake again, did he?
No, he didn't. that one went a little. That was an uncomfortable moment.
It was completely accidental, and I felt so bad about a Forge World model.
I know. Still, so yes, so then we can be disruptive. On other news about Gaslands.
Oh no.
So when I submitted my class for LVO, I told you, I'd give them a month to get back to me and figure out what was going on. And if they didn't get back to me, I would send them an email.
Right.
So I sent them an email. I'm like, it's been a month. I just want to know what's going on with LVO because I, want to make other plans. If you're not going to have my class, let me know so I can move on in life.
So I can do other stuff.
Yeah. So the guy got back to me. He's like, well, I haven't heard that your class was pulled. And again, it wasn't like a positive. The email made me feel like it wasn't something they wanted, because they said, we don't really have anything, like I talked about, there's no tournament or anything associated with it. So I didn't think they were that interested. But he said he'd get back to me. Well, he got back to me yesterday, and he said that Reese is looking for a slot to put it in, that my class was still a go, and that next week it should be posted on their website. And when I guess they have a web developer that at the shop, so when their website person comes in, they're going to update the cart, and my class should be in it.
Right.
I'll wait till next week before I say it's official, but I still might have the class going at LVO.
Awesome. So you were excited about that.
I was actually depressed though when I didn't hear anything back. I'm like, no word. I was actually kind of bummed. I'm like, what's going on, you guys? And that's why I waited the month. I was like, I get it. I'm not one of the big popular builder designer type people. I'm not a Yeji. I'm not a Lynn. I'm not an Aaron Lovejoy. Like, I know I'm not a famous, like, that's all they had listed in their classes were their normal, regular, famous people.
Right. Well, that's the thing that actually kind of surprised me when they said to you there's no kind of a tournament attached to it, because they want to be careful. They have to find, I mean, LVO is great, but if they center everything around competitiveness, they're going to limit their attractiveness to other hobbyists. Right. There's got to be something for the guys that aren't playing in the tournament to do to keep their attendance growing and doing what they want to do. So I was just kind of surprised that. I'm glad they actually got back to you and that it's still a go.
To be honest, I think they forgot about me.
Yeah, I can. That unfortunately that makes sense. That, not that you're forgettable, but and they shouldn't have done it, but it makes sense that they're more focused on their more high profile stuff.
Yeah, so I think it was just oops, sorry, my bad type situation.
So what that means is we've got to get a bunch of guys to come in and make your event the most popular event at LVO besides the actual tournament. Teach them a lesson.
Teach them a lesson. Don't mess with me. Now, so we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not going to count my eggs. I got all excited. I thought it was going to be a go. And then when I didn't see it, I was like, okay, then I got a little bummed. I was like, oh, that sucks. I wish you guys could have told me, though. Like,
yeah, give me some kind of feedback.
That's why I think they forgot about me, because I think it was just like, oh, shit, yeah, we have somebody new that wants to do something, because I would be the noob, the newest.
Right.
All the other stuff that they have for classes, those are like the regulars. I was like the new guy. So anywho, so that still may be a go. So I'm kind of still looking forward to that if it happens. If it doesn't, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Well, I think if they told you it's still a go, I think you're going to be good. I think it's just you may have to spend a little more time making them stay on top of it.
Well, but you know me. I'm like, I'll work with you once, but if you're going to keep not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, the level of, if I'm going to have to end up doing all the work, like remind you guys constantly that I want to do this, I'm wasting my time.
Right. Well, and I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking to get paid by them.
I understand. That's what makes it more frustrating. You just want to do something for the guys that show up to the show.
Right. Offer a little entertainment, do some demos, have a little bit of fun, because there's not a lot to do at LVO.
Right.
Like, yes, I am a social butterfly, and I'll float around and talk to everybody and butt myself into everybody's conversation. I don't care.
You're a perfect example of what I mentioned earlier. You go up to LVO for other aspects, not just the tournament. So they've got to find ways to make sure that there's stuff there for people like you to do, so their attendance is where they need it to be. So
they can grow their audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. And we'll see what happens. But just so, I know I've talked a lot about it on the show. I want people to, in case you guys are going up there, course, if you're local, you go to IOG. You can just stay local and support the local shops, and we can do a class. But an LVO will be also a limited class because I don't need 150 people in a class cutting their fingers off, trying to like chop cars up and stuff. So it will be a limited classroom.
There you go.
But for the local event, if you are interested in going, I will be providing cars because I need to thin out my collection. And we'll also be, Darren gave me a weapon sprue for Implements of Carnage, so we will have weapons as well from the weapon sprue. So if you are interested and you want to just hang and build cars and see all the different tools that I use and stuff like that, cool. And then afterwards, take your creation and we're going to do a little race around the table, just a fun little sporadic race around the table, and just see how everything pans out.
Getting an edge highlighting done on these legs. It's not looking too bad. Not unhappy with it.
Very nice.
Joe says do both.
Do both. Do both what?
Whatever you were talking about.
Already doing both at the shop. So I don't know what he's talking about. What color do I need? I need my black wash. Joe, what do you mean by do both, man? It was your idea to do the play and build and play and build. I am doing, if LVO accepts me, I will be doing LVO. They have to accept me. They need to say yay, because LVO is not till January 2022.
Right.
But yes, I will be doing both if I can, if they will embrace me as one of their own.
You're going to become the Yeji of Hot Wheels.
I love Yeji, so I don't take that as a negative.
The only thing I think negative about it is Yeji is a phenomenal painter, but in the realm, she's kind of been labeled as a
chibi painter.
A chibi painter.
Yes.
She's great. Her chibis are awesome, and that's what she's become known for. But her other stuff is just as gorgeous.
Yes, she is an amazing painter, just in general.
She's an amazing person.
Well, hopefully we can get them back. And when we say Yeji is a package deal,
yep,
we get Clint.
Well, Clint in his own right
is an awesome painter as well.
Yeah, but I want to try to get Yeji back down to the shop for a class.
And the last time we got her, it was simply
by accident. There was an Infinity event going on.
Yeah.
Over in Tempe. I forget what shop. And Clint was coming down for that, and she said, "Well, can I do this class while he's doing that?"
Yes. And Joe, now I get your comment. And yes, do both, please. Joe was just mentioned the people she could do the IO show and then go up to Vegas and do the Vegas show with me.
Right. That's one of the problems with comments, because we're in a bit of a delay where we've moved on to the conversation by the time we see the comment.
Yes.
And because we're old, we forget.
And we're not that, well, we're experienced streamers, but we're not like professional streamers that talk for 5 minutes and then wait for comments. We just kind of talk.
We also don't have a person that moderates comments to let us know what the comment was about.
Yeah. Like, Mike, he's talking about this. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I hear that a lot on a lot of streams where they'll be going, "What? Oh, yeah, okay." And then so you don't really hear the person off camera, but then they go, "Oh, okay," and then they respond.
Yeah, it's like they've got like a prompt or something, like someone's writing on a piece of paper, but they're paying attention to the conversation where we're just conversating.
Yeah.
All right. So leather straps are drying. But yeah, maybe there'll be another, again, tournaments are going to, I think IOG is going to, well, we'll see. There seems to be a little bit of copying IOG going on again.
What do you mean?
What's that?
What do you mean copying IOG?
IOG posts event, then somebody else posts the same event.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, but I think tournament wise, we're gonna like the OG is gonna be like the first big, like, not just store events, but like big events. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Like we haven't really had a big, we really haven't had any real events since the whole COVID thing.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm trying to make sure when I do actually put out the criteria that I got it right. So
Yeah, that will be important. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my flush wash. I cleaned my desk.
oh, that's always fun.
No, it's not, because I put all my paint away.
Obviously, my sarcasm wasn't.
Oh no, I didn't pick up on it. Sorry.
I was like, yeah, that's always fun because I do the same thing. Then I can't find anything for days.
Yeah, so now I'm re-looking for and dropping everything. There it is. It was the very last in the corner of my paint rack.
That's like what I told you. Like I moved all of my drawers, which used to be to my far left. I've now put them all in front of me. That's
Right.
the stacker drawers, and it's really cool because the system is I can just rearrange the drawers any way I want them. But now I'm like, where did I put that? Where did I put that drawer?
Yeah.
Luckily, they're all labeled, but still.
We had several events and tournaments, but OG will be the first one that takes the whole. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We've had like demo days, we've had smaller, little casualer events, but I think the OG for the state, or for the local region anyways, I don't know about other parts of the state, I think it's going to be kind of like the first big, like, organized event. So
Yeah.
we'll
Again,
see.
that's one of the reasons why I'm being a little. I want to make sure. Again, I don't worry about the competition aspect of it because that's not what it's
No.
about. But I still want it to be, try to be as fair and balanced as I can make it.
Well, and you also just want it to be a well-ran event. You're putting a lot of effort, and we don't want it to just be like a haphazard. We threw this thing together at the last minute and we didn't think about it. Yeah. Nothing worse than going to an event that's kind of unprepared for the things that could take place.
Yippee.
So I am looking forward to just hanging out with you for the day.
Me too, buddy. I can't wait to go get a sandwich.
Heidi's.
There you go.
Heidi's. Wonder if they'll remember us.
Well, when I say I want my ham and cheese, blah blah blah. If the same managers are, he's got to remember.
Yeah. I want ham on 2 slices of bread
with a slice of cheese.
With a slice of cheese.
And on a note, throw in some mayo.
Yes, you do order the most unique ham and cheese sandwich.
Ham and Swiss.
Ham and cheese.
What?
That's funny.
I didn't get it.
It's just a ham and cheese. It's truly just a ham and cheese sandwich.
It is. Ham. It's ham
and cheese.
Mayonnaise on white bread.
Yes.
There's nothing extraordinary about it.
What did y'all say here? I gotta work that day, but agree that if I do, I get off for the Grumble Bowl. And that's undecided at this point.
Yeah, we haven't decided when that's going to happen. I got to talk. That's something else, Darren. I got to work out. And again, there's a new rule set out, so I got to make sure there's nothing.
Yeah, and some of the new rules, like we can use 2 re-rolls per turn now, and
yep,
some uniqueness.
I tell you what, I'm not doing with the Grumble Bowl.
What's that?
I don't really give a crap about NAF again.
Yeah, we got suckered into that.
It ended up, I think, damaging our attendance.
Yeah.
That, and we didn't really promote the event that well.
Yeah, but still, it was listed on the NAF, and everyone's like, "I want our points. I want our points." And it's like, all right, and we did it, and nothing. Yeah, I don't even think the people that wanted it even showed up.
No.
So.
Yep. There's a lot of balls dropped on that particular project.
Yeah, we'll recoup.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
It's Blood Bowl. It'll bounce back.
I'll have to paint a new team, as I always do, because how hard is it to paint 12 models? Of course, I am super slow. I think I'm gonna do lizards.
Good team.
Yeah. Well, the new models are just amazing. So
I'm really hoping that they will start making. I know they make all the mainstream teams, but I'd love to see them release a new Norse team, a new Chaos Dwarf team. But I still have to get a copy of the new rules. So.
Well, there is another preview coming up. So they've been previewing a lot of different things. So maybe we'll hear some news about some new Blood Bowl stuff. Who knows? I think the preview is probably going to focus more on Warhammer Plus, though, which would make sense. But the last preview, they showed all the new orc models. So
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Don's comment because it actually was kind of funny when I said a lot of balls dropped on that one, and I was talking about the Grumble Bowl.
Yeah.
That's actually very true. Good one, Don. That's awesome. That made my morning.
Leave it to Don.
No. Don's rapier-like wit.
Yes. His rocket sense of humor. So I'm just glazing flesh tone over all my dark browns to just give the ears and stuff on the board just a little bit of a different tone, so they kind of stand out a little bit. And boars kind of have a flesh look to them anyways. So
Joe's saying that new thing. Yeah, there's a new version of Kill Team or a new something of Kill Team coming out.
Yeah, there's new models or new rules or new something.
I was going through my bookcase in my rearrange, and one of the things I get frustrated about is I have a ton of books that are no longer useful.
Yep.
And you can't even sell them on eBay.
Oh. Yep. But then again, at some point, somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, you know what we should do is we should play the old version of this game."
Yeah.
Tim and I have been having conversations. He's going through a bit of a gaming crisis, of not really liking a lot of the newer stuff that's out and wanting to revisit some of the older games that he used to enjoy.
I tell you the game I want to get back to.
Wait.
What?
Is it something to do with ships?
Nope.
Oh. What's that?
Saga.
Yes, and we talked. That was one of the games we actually talked about. It's like, what happened to Saga? It's like, oh, they put a second edition out, and everything just went south.
But second edition is not. It's not a bad game.
No,
it's just people stopped playing it for a while.
I think it was maybe just an excuse to stop playing it. It's like, oh, a new edition. I don't want to buy it. I like the old edition. And historical gamers are different.
They are weird.
No, they're not into, like, don't change my game.
Yeah.
And that happens. I get it. I totally get it. But then again, you could always still play with the first edition rules. What stopped you from doing that?
Yep. Absolutely.
But that was one of the conversations.
I can understand that. Makes total sense to me.
Yeah, but yeah, I love Saga. Saga was a great game.
So I'm hoping I'm going to get some time in the near future to paint some more of my Saga stuff and at least get an army ready for it.
Well, and worse, it's just fun to paint Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
Like, regardless if you actually play Saga, it's just fun to paint Vikings.
It's fun to paint any models from that historical period because it's just the detail and some of them are so colorful and
yeah. Well, that's why, like, error-wise for historical stuff, I'm drawn to Napoleonics, not because I think like I'm some strategist or something like that. I just like painting bright uniforms.
You know, watching all the sharp stuff that takes place during the Napoleonic Wars made me go, man, I could, that would be really cool. And then I snapped to my sense, like, what are you talking about? I don't need to start buying more models for something else.
Yeah. I got a chance to go over to Andy's hobby headquarters.
How was that?
It was phenomenal because he's got that big old car collection,
right,
that he picked up, and I actually got myself a General Lee model.
Awesome.
Was one of those models that as a child, it was a show that I watched. And it was one of the, I never got it as a kid, and model went out of production, and Andy bought this huge collection from somebody.
That's called a Grail kit.
Yes, and it is it's a later production model,
right,
because they changed the cover art, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the General Lee, and they don't make it anymore because they've changed. The company has totally changed and got away from the General Lee completely, and went to a just a regular car. Like it has no movie reference at all anymore.
Right.
I don't know if it was, they probably lost the license or something like that.
Probably.
So, or they just didn't want to renew it because there's only like a small handful of people that remember the show. But yeah, I picked it up. And again, I probably just going to be something for my collection, not necessarily something that I'm going to rush and build.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple Grail kits in my collection that I've been
But Andy's store is just packed with all these model cars. And
going into Andy's is never a disappointment. There's always, something in there that I
gotta have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all the car kits that were there was just a lot of stock cars, stuff that I'm not into.
Right.
But the General Lee was like, I went in specifically looking for that, and he had one left. So in the collection, when he was showing the boxes, he had tons and tons of the General Lee, and there must have been a lot of people like me. Oh, I want to go get that kit because he only had one left.
Well, I'm glad you made it in time to grab it.
Yeah. Joe's mentioning Pogs. I don't know what Pogs are. I know what a Pog is, but
Pogs are one of those games that was really popular for a minute and then went away.
It's actually made a small comeback, but I don't know why it's Pogs.
You know why they were called Pogs, right?
No.
Basically, in Hawaii, the guys that worked in the fields, the trucks used to bring around these drinks of pineapple, orange, and guava juice that were sealed with foil with a cardboard disc covering the top of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And they would play and the company made them collectible. So they had all these different images on them. And the guys made up a game that they would play on their breaks using those caps. And the word Pog came from the pineapple, orange, and guava.
Ah, how creative.
And it was extremely popular for about 8 months.
Well, I remember the Pogs coming out, and I remember people going nuts. It was like Pokemon, got to have them all. And I've seen them popping up on YouTube channels and things like that, where people are still like, it's still around, I guess, or
it's gotten into that nostalgia because there are a lot of kids that are now adults that, because I was working at Hobbytown USA. I was managing the Hobbytown USA at Bell Road and the Freeway, and that had to be mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You've got kids that played that game that are now, where you always go back to that thing you did when you were a kid. It's kind of nostalgic. So you have kids that grew up playing Pogs, that they were that was their hobby. That's what they did.
Well, and I think like a lot of things happened during the COVID restrictions where people started reminiscing about their childhood, and Pogs, you could just play that at home with your kids and introduce your kids to it.
Yep. Well, it runs on the 20 stuff like that runs on a 20-year cycle.
Is it 20 years?
If you actually watch stuff that gains popularity, about every 20 years, when a new generation starts getting to a certain age, popularity of stuff that are old comes back around. It kind of runs in a 20-year cycle. So, well, it looks like I got most of the edge highlighting done on these lovely legs.
Look at those lovely legs.
It's leg day. I gotta do the feet yet.
It's leg day.
Leg day.
I'm doing feet.
I mean, come on, look at that.
Oh my God, so colorful. All the colors, all the pretty colors. Look at the pretty colors.
All the colors of the rainbow.
Yes, we have nothing. I have nothing planned for today.
Oh, that's unusual.
Well, it's just I want to gear up and get ready to go back to work.
You go back to work tomorrow, yeah?
Yep. We got a new chief. I got a new boss. I had to comb my hair differently, so it doesn't look. It looks like I did something with it while I was on vacation, and it's not getting long and out of control. So that's why I'm parting it again, just to make it look like I did something different. Give the outward appearance I did something different.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, yeah. All right. Looks like you got brand new sneakers. Look at how bright white those feet are.
Holy cow! Yeah.
It's like when you get new sneakers. So I was a headbanger back in high school. If you guys couldn't imagine. And you got all your grungy old jeans and torn up T-shirts and stuff, and you bought a brand new pair of kicks, and you went walking around with your brand new kicks, and it was so obvious. It's like, oh my God, you got new shoes. I'm like, you could see them a mile away. Because all your old stuff, everything else you're wearing is kind of old and grungy. Just a little life stuff. So I'll use some of the brown skin instant color to tone down those kicks.
I just got a notice from Scale 75 that they are getting ready to release a pigment line.
A pigment line?
The pastel powders pigments.
Oh, is it just going to be for pastels or?
Well, no. Okay, they're just the powdered chalks for like weathering and that kind of stuff.
Got it.
Called pigments.
Got it.
Yeah. So
I just call them chalk sticks, but.
Well, these are actually the powder in a bottle.
Got it.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Getting ready to release those. I remember the day when the only one you could find of that nature was you go to a place that sold science stuff, and you could get powdered graphite, and you would use that for like your smokestacks and exhaust. And
I actually got a tub of powdered graphite.
Ooh.
Nice because of that same very reason. But it was cheap to buy it on Amazon because what is graphite also used for, ladies and gentlemen?
Lubrication.
Lubrication for locks.
Yippee.
Or things that need to be dry. Look at us. We're Mike and Jeff the science guys. Well, let's not get carried away with science, but
I was thrown away today. I watched a YouTube video on Titan. One of Saturn's moons.
Okay.
The second largest moon in our solar system.
Okay.
Ganymede, which is a Jupiter moon, was first, but they were referring to it as a planet.
What?
Because it's got an atmosphere, and it's basically they say it probably resembles Earth a billion years ago, but it's actually bigger than Mercury, and they were referring to it as a planet. So I've got to do some research later today to find out because it could be a moon that they classify as a planet.
Well, but a moon is just a smaller version of the planet orbiting a planet. So.
Yeah, they have a whole. That's why Pluto's been back and forth on whether or not it's a planet for the last decade. So they got criteria they followed. So I'm gonna do some research to see. But it was really fascinating what you're talking about because it's got standing bodies of liquid. And
Ooh, we could move there.
Well, it's not water.
Oh, liquid's liquid. We can make it water.
It's nitrogen. but it's got
it's really cold water.
It's got an atmosphere that extends higher around the planet than our Earth's atmosphere, and it was just really fascinating. But I was just kind of thrown off by the fact that they refer to it as they kept referring to it as the planet Titan, and so it's like, oh, okay,
kind of like Teen Titan. Well, we can move there and destroy that planet as well.
Woohoo!
Because we are good at that. So Joe says, if it doesn't show up, are they pigments of ours or imagination? Pigments of ours. Joe.
Joe's trying to catch up with Don now on
the.
Joe's always fun after he's had his coffee.
Yes, you just got to get him to get his coffee first. What would he do in a society, post-apocalyptic society, if he didn't have his coffee?
No coffee.
No coffee.
Well, I think I have edge highlighted this entire thing. So there he is. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
That gives me... the only part I have left to finish is the torso.
As far as edge highlighting and stuff?
No, I mean, literally, all of this could be assembled if this was ready. This still has a lot of detail work to do.
All right.
But there's all the other pieces parts. Well, that's actually an old one. There's all the pieces parts that I need to do. So I could literally assemble this guy, and also I have this. I have to add this and this. I have to finish detailing out this, and I have to finish detailing out the other leg shield details.
Joe said he would substitute coffee for human blood. that kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Kind of freaks me out a little bit too, actually. Oh wait, I did forget something on the legs. Oh no, I'm silly.
Uh-oh.
There absolutely is something, a very important part of that I forgot to do.
Uh-oh.
Make sure they're all blackened.
Blackened.
And
awesome.
they are.
Metallica, by the way. Yeah, if my tribute book turns out cool for Lemmy, then I'm going to do a Cliff Burton one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Again, because I bought all the magazines when these guys passed, and they're just sitting. So
kind of fascinated by your new hobby.
Yeah, I thought making books would be interesting. So, and I went down a rabbit hole you wouldn't believe.
It's not like we haven't done it before.
Yeah, just a little part-time thing.
I forgot to do the rivets.
Oh no, rivets.
And all this armor plating.
Rivets. He forgot the rivets. Sorry. So I think my chariot here is going to be done soon.
That'd be awesome. I can't wait to see it.
I was going to try to finish it while on vacation, but went down a different path.
Well, that's what makes vacations nice, is you don't really have a set. You just do whatever you do.
Right. And cleaning my room was one of them. And finishing all those wood projects was another one. So. Need to clean off that paint.
Rivet.
It's riveting. Again, the micro brush for the save. This one feels a little.
Micro brush for the win.
Yeah, I think the only thing we really have to do today is we have to go to PetSmart to buy some pet food. Otherwise, I think the cats will substitute us for pet food. Yeah, I'm more excited about what am I going to do next for this project. Like, I'm still torn between doing just a unit of boys and cranking out a unit of boys for it.
Right.
Or doing the giants. Again, all of that stuff is just sitting in my bits box. Mocking me. Oops, helps if I'm on camera. I don't have my sticker anymore. I don't know where my center point is.
I still make it a habit to look at the screen because I keep drawing the model because my eyesight's so crap.
Yeah. Crappy eyesight. Bad eyesight. Bad eyesight.
I have very bad eyesight anymore.
Be good. Be good eyesight. Bookmaking. Give me a whoa, Graham. Grand on. I'll take you. Different bookmaking. Hey, William has joined us. Hey, Will.
William.
Yes, buddy. My chariot is slowly coming together. One day you will meet this chariot on the battlefield. And then I've got the boars done. It's boar time. Again, wanting my boars to be very dark so that they pop on the chariot because the wood is very bright. So, and I put red racing stripes on the helmets of my dudes because red is cool. Yeah, I think I might be. What?
You said red is cool, and I've been binge watching Doctor Who season after season, and I'm in the middle of Matt Smith's season. And one of the things he says constantly is bow ties are cool. you said that was cool, so
got it.
I just thought it was funny.
All right, well, you got your goblins prepared. I will have one day I'll have this army done. So I don't know. I think I'll get this army done soon. It's for Warlords of Erewhon, so I don't need a million models for it.
All right, now I'm done. I've got all the rivets painted.
Riveting.
For now, silver with my little black outline that I like to do. So, now time for my second thin coat.
Your second thin coat?
Yeah, I put a coat of rust gray on this shield, and I'm following the GW doctrine. 2 thin coats, 2 thin layers.
Yeah, Raymond, I don't know. Maybe I am just talking slower, or you just have internet issues.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Raymond's saying that he's occasionally hearing some weird, like I'm talking slower and deeper.
I think if your microphone might be in a different position from when you cleaned your.
Hello. Mic check. Mic check. How's that?
There's more of a bass reverb in your voice than normal. It could also be the fact that you've spent the week on vacation and you're just
that's kind of where I was going to go next is, yes, I am just super chill.
Will what Dreadnought that is?
Yeah.
This is a conversion for a Redemptor Dreadnought that is from a company called Pop Goes the Monkey. And this is how the upper torso looks. And then it has, let me put this on it so you can see it. Don, in his infinite wisdom, decided to spend my money by showing off his Blood Angel Dreadnought he got from Pop Goes the Monkey, and I was in love with it, and his paint job was gorgeous, and that inspired me to do my own. They had a really cool Space Wolf version, So this is that, and it comes with these really cool Death Wolf shoulder pads. And that is basically the look.
He's got the look.
I've done the knot work on the legs. So, and then here's the Power Claw. Again, more knot work on the Power Claw. And then, of course, just a plasma annihilator. So, what is done? Woohoo! War Machine and Sam Wilson, Captain America are assembled. All right, way to go, Don.
War Machine, Sam Wilson, Captain America. Okay, that has to be the coolest dread I've ever laid eyes on. You won't be saying that when it's beating you on the table, though.
It's a really, I mean, check out popgoesthemonkey.com. Yeah. It's got a lot of really good 3D printed stuff. Again, between Don and Joe, they've spent a lot of my money in the last month. Joe introduced me to Puppet Wars, and Don gave me. That's where the T-shirt comes from that I'm wearing. I'm just a major fan. So,
fanboy.
They have a lot of great stuff, accessories, 3D printed accessory stuff for 40K. Check them out. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, if you're doing a custom chapter, that they have all the different chapters and.
Yeah, because I'm doing the Death Wolves, which is hard to get decals for, and pretty much any accessories I got to convert. But they actually they call them howlers, of course. And no, they are worth it, Don. Absolutely, I do not regret that in any way, shape, or form. I just wish you wouldn't. I didn't let other people spend my money, and I was smart to go. No, I can't afford that right now. So, really, really nice.
Do I eat this week or do I buy stuff for my army?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Oh, my diet, I found something really great that I'm actually loving, by the way.
What's that?
Turkey burgers.
Yep.
Which I knew they existed, but what I didn't know existed was turkey hot dogs.
Ooh.
And they are great.
Delish.
And yes, and so is Puppet Wars, dude. They're both great. I got some fantastic stuff from Puppet Wars as well. So thanks to both of you for turning me on to those, because they have been great. But again, other people spending my money, and it used to be only Mike, which I could live with, but now everybody's doing it. Or maybe I had to have a purchase control problem. I don't know. Could be one of the two.
I'm gonna go purchase control problem.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you're going that way.
I'm just gonna go down that route.
God forbid you take any responsibility for your heinous actions.
Never. Never.
Look, Jeff, there's a White Dwarf model over here. Didn't you say at one point in time you tried to collect all those models? Do you have this one, Jeff? No, I don't. Thanks, Mike. I guess I'll go buy that. Which happened 5 minutes after I said to you, I'm not spending any money at the Gamers Garage sale this year.
And I broke that.
And that opened the floodgates, because not only did I buy the White Dwarf, but since I said, hey, I'm spending money anyway, I bought Bo's Squad Army.
And wasn't there some old classic Space Marine stuff?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure
I had solid resolve until you pointed out one of my Grail kits, and then I was like, okay, the floodgates open. Let's just go for it. Let's just do it.
Gate and flood it in with all the model goodness.
Well, yawn.
I don't think I bought anything at that show.
You didn't. Loaded that you were wondering, I didn't spend my money this week. I spent Jeff's.
I don't have to spend any money. Jeff is on PCP. Turkey dogs are all we buy. Yes, I love turkey dogs. I
didn't know they existed, and they are awesome.
Yes. I'm going to switch cameras.
They fit into my diet quite nicely.
I'm switching the cameras.
And by the way, anyone that's actually looking at losing a little bit of weight but has a problem with it like I do, and the fact that I have emotional problems when I eat with stress and everything else, Noom, quite frankly, is a fantastic plan, because not only does it address your food, because nothing is off limits. You can have anything you want while on Noom. They don't say anything is forbidden, but they teach you why you eat the way you eat, and what exercise and eating and how that all interlocks, because you have lessons you go through every day as well. So it's not just a food plan. You're not buying their food. You eat normal food, and it's done really, really well. So I'm really liking it so far.
Hey, you can see my Dukes of Hazzard car
Where?
behind me. Look on my
Oh
airbrush.
yeah, there it is.
Hey. What does Noom cost?
Noom, you can actually do Noom at a minimal amount, which is like $49. That gets you the app, but then if you want to buy where you actually have a coach, it cost me $130 for 8 months. But I'm not buying any of their food. I have access to a coach and dietitian that if I have any questions or issues to, and they also monitor my progress. But it actually, for me, what it did was when I was on the Optavia plan was great, but I had to buy their food, and it didn't really explain to me why I do what I do. Where this one, every day I have at least 5 minutes of lesson where I got to go through and answer questions and read and talk about why my body reacts the way it does, why your weight varies up and down. It covers all the psychological aspects of eating, from stress. It's just really great, but it actually gives me a resource that I can go to if I have any questions or issues as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. But the other cool thing about it is nothing is off limits. So if I want to have a donut, I can have a donut. I have to log it, but what it teaches me is donuts are okay, but a dozen donuts that I was setting is not okay.
Right.
So that's where it really talks about a lot of that.
Well, like the diet plan I went on, that was just strictly you're on your own, do your own thing. Here's some stuff that will help you. It's up to you. There was no support in the program I went through.
Yeah.
It was strictly, and that's why like Joe just mentioned, the one plan that you guys were on worked great while you were on it. Once you're off it, not so good.
Right.
And I'm experiencing.
Go ahead.
I'm experiencing some of that because I'm gaining a little bit of my weight back because I'm no longer following a regimented diet.
Yeah. Well, they also address stuff like for those days that because they have slips and they have peaks and slips, and they don't look at slips as being, where a lot of times if I'll do something like I shouldn't do, like I'll see a little snack bag of Fritos and I'll eat them on impulse, and then I'm like, man, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? My diet's over. I might as well eat whatever I want. Noom doesn't make anything off limits. They categorize. I get X number of calories a day.
Right.
Some of those calories are labeled as green, which means if let's say I have 1,500 calories a day, I can have 1,500 calories of the green items, which are fruits and vegetables and all the natural stuff. Breads and meats and other stuff fall into two categories of yellows and reds, and I can have like 60% of my calories can be yellow items, and then I think it's something like 30 or 40% of my daily calories can come from red items, but I max out on those.
Right.
So if I want to go out and have a burger is going to come up as a red item, and I get like 325 calories a day in red items.
Right.
So if I want to have oatmeal and put some sugar on it, I can, but that sugar goes into my red items category, which also hits my overall total. But nothing is off limits, so I don't feel like if I want to go, no, screw it, I'm going to do that today, I can. So it doesn't. I don't feel punished or penalized when I slip up. And also, I've got a group that's part of the plan that you text back and forth with to talk about your progress, ask questions, but it addresses all the mental side of eating and why you do what you do. And it's just really good. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but I highly recommend it if you're trying to lose a little weight.
Well, and it's a good program because a lot of people don't think about the psychology behind eating. And like Raymond said, it's a food shrink, which it basically is our eating habits are what causes our weight gain. It's not the food that we're eating. Everyone says, oh, you just don't eat bad food. It's like, it's just not that easy. There's more to it than just don't eat bad food.
Well, you've heard me say that if I have an emotion of any kind, I want to celebrate with food.
And you're an emotional guy.
Yeah, and so I stress eat. I eat sometimes just because that sounds good. I can't sit in front of TV without munching on stuff. But they cover all that as to the psychology of why you do that, and then they give you pointers on how to change that behavior.
Yeah.
While I'm doing the diet. Plus, I'm not forced to buy their food, so I'm learning to shop better. I'm learning to cook better. I'm learning to keep track of how I eat and what I eat and when I eat and why I eat. which other diets don't do that. They just focus on knock the weight off, and then you're on your own. And then what always has happened to me, I'll knock a bunch of weight off, and then I just go back to being normal. And so I don't address what the actual problems are. So
it's a better program, and that's probably something I should probably venture into because, like I said, I'm starting to gain weight back.
Right.
Because I'm no longer punishing myself. I'm no longer following that diet. Our culture in America has come to promote eating a ton of food compared to other countries as well. Yes, and we can just say claim jumpers if you've ever eaten at Claim Jumpers. You understand. And that's an average American meal. That's why people from the UK that come over are like, holy crap, that's enough food for the day.
Oh yeah. Well, the other thing that drives me crazy, because I got two things going against me. I'm a foodaholic. I have all these different issues, and I'm also an alcoholic.
Right.
I can't watch TV for 10 minutes without both hitting a food and an alcohol commercial.
Right. It's just always in front of your face.
And absolutely. And so it makes me crazy. So.
Where streaming should help you because you don't watch a lot of commercials. You don't watch any real commercials on streaming services. So hopefully we can remove those from your psyche.
Right.
But yes, it is hard, and people are truly addicted to food. And they don't, and you just walk around and you just like, oh my gosh.
I've been on Noom now for 30 days, and I just crossed 16 pounds lost.
Sweet.
So, right, and what really upset about the whole thing, what really upsets me is I've lost 16 pounds, which if you pick up a bag of 16 pounds of potatoes, that's a lot. I still haven't noticed it yet, but I'm headed in the right direction. So,
well, I lost 60 pounds and I noticed it, and I finally bought a new pair of pants because I'm cheap, and I was still wearing my old pants. Now I finally got a pair of pants that fit me, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird because I've been so used to my pants being so baggy on me that I actually have pants that fit me, and I need to buy more. But just like everybody, I'm like, I'm just going to gain all the weight back anyways. I've kind of thrown in that towel, so I need to get myself back into the and being on vacation didn't help.
No, it doesn't.
Really threw in the towel on vacation. I was like, party time kind of.
Again though, that's something else that Noom covers. They actually cover the aspects of, and they explain to you why if we go to we go out to lunch after gaming, and there's a bunch of us, it actually explains one of the psychologies of being around a table full of your peers and how that affects your eating.
Right.
So they actually talk about stuff like that, which I just find fascinating. I'll get off back up my soapbox here. I'm sorry.
It's a revolutionary program because no one's ever approached weight loss from a psychological standpoint. It's always eat crap, eat boiled chicken, eat steamed vegetables, eat this really, which great, this is good eating habits, but it's not it doesn't really address the psychology part of it all. Well, I want to eat the cheeseburger.
Right.
Like, I know the boiled chicken and steamed vegetables is better for me, but I want to eat the cheeseburger.
Yep.
And there's a reason why you want to eat the cheeseburger, and it's not necessarily taste. It's just there's an endorphin release when you eat the cheeseburger versus the boiled chicken.
Right. Well, one of the cool psychological tips they gave me, because normally when I make a sandwich for myself, I normally make 2 sandwiches.
Okay.
And in my mind, that's a meal, and I overeat. So, but one of the things I was trying to figure out was I'd make my sandwich because I'm eating a lot of turkey and ham because they're both yellow items. But I kept going, man, I should make another one. This isn't enough. And my counselor said, well, cut the one sandwich in half
and eat 2 of them.
And you put on your plate, and it literally helped. Then I go, oh, I got 2 sandwiches. It's literally half of 2 halves of one. But it just the psychological thing just actually helped make it easier to get past that hurdle.
Yeah, I went to folding the bread in half.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
I just fold the bread in half in that way because I take my sandwich to work with me, and I was doing the same thing. I was making a normal sandwich to go to work with me, but when I was on my diet, I was trying to cut calories. So I'm like, well, I'll just use half the bread, cutting it. I just started just for ease of making the sandwich, I just folded it in half.
There's also something I didn't know existed. There's a great diet bread from Schmidt's called 647.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally half the calories of normal bread. And it's like I got right now, I'm using their Italian.
Yeah.
And normally, just a standard white a slice of white bread is about 100 calories.
Right.
And the Schmidt 647 bread is, I think it's 51 or 61 calories. So
I eat Dave's awesome bread.
Okay.
It's like a whole grain type of bread.
Right.
Yes, a folded sandwich is a white man's taco.
All right, I've prattled on enough about my diet.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us. So, Gaslands, we're having a build and play day, August 28th. So I will be meeting with Joe or talking with Joe and getting more details out. Darren and Joe will be figuring out cost and all that. I'm just doing this to have fun, so they'll figure out the particulars on all the other stuff. The class I will be providing a car and some weapon sprue bits for people to build. We're going to build a car in class, and then afterwards we're going to race them on a track and just go over the rules in a little bit more specific details, a little bit more detailed than when I do demos, so people have a better grasp on the gameplay.
I'll see if Darren will not leave for Montana till Sunday, so I can be there for the event, and I'll bring a couple project cars I've been working on over with me as well. That'd be kind of cool.
I will have a bunch of my project cars there, and I'm sure I'll have more cars by then.
Real quick question. So I know we're trying to get off, but did you ever get those micro blades, saw blades?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll be sharing those at the class.
I just popped into my head. I never really don't remember you ever saying they actually arrived because they came from Australia. So.
Yeah, no, I think it was on one of the shows. I showed them.
It's like a
yeah, I know. But anyway, so that will be then, and Grumble Bowl, not Grumble Bowl, OG, we're still working on the particulars for the OG. So as soon as those particulars are up and running, that will be blasted all over the different social media.
It's going to happen. I'm going to get it done. Like I said, I'm waiting to hear back, and there were some questions on the open war cards. But I'll get them out there. It'll be in the next 2 or 3 days.
Yes. So, but that's what's going on. We're back. We're gaming. We're making stuff happen. So I'm a little excited about it all. So, and then if I hear anything from LVO, I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, keep us posted.
So I'm not gonna hold my breath. So anyways, you guys, thank you all very much for hanging out with us and spending your morning hobby time with us. We will be back Wednesday night because
for a much better show.
Go back and watch Wednesday night show if you want to watch some of Jeff's chaos. If you want a moment in time in Jeff's life and how chaotic his life is, go back and watch Wednesday night show.
There you go.
There you go. All right, y'all. Thank you all very much for hanging with us, and we will see you Wednesday night. Bye.
Bye.